Hello and welcome to Art with Miss Michelle. Today I'm going to show you how to make a picture of a sunset with some African animal silhouettes. So for this project you're going to need some soft pastels. I have red, orange, and yellow, warm colors for my warm sunset, and then I have black for my animal silhouettes. So I'm just going to show the outline of the animal colored in black so it looks like it's kind of at twilight and you just see the shadow of the animal. I'm also going to need some white paper. If you have a bigger piece, you'll have more room to draw your animals, but a regular size piece will work fine too. And some hairspray, just some regular like Aquanet, Rave, or aerosol hairspray. The cheaper, the better. And this is going to help seal my pastels because they're going to be really dusty. And this is going to help hold the dust onto the paper. So after I'm done, I can spray it and it won't keep getting dust all over my hands. You can get fancy art sprays, but these are way cheaper and work almost as well. And then you might want some pictures of some African animals to look at while you draw. So some examples are zebras, lions, giraffes, rhinos, elephants, and hippos. Okay, so I'm going to start just making a really colorful sky for my sunset, because when the sun goes down, the sky looks all nice and colorful. So I'm going to use the side of my pastel and just cover my whole paper. And I like these pastels because they're really easy to blend the colors together. And I just chose red, yellow, and orange because red and yellow actually make the color orange. So I can blend all of these colors together and I won't have to worry about anything turning brown. Since they all go together really well, they'll just make a really nice sunset looking blended picture. If I were to add another color like blue or purple and I tried to blend them all together, they would start looking brown. So it's best to stick to just a couple of colors so you get a nice look and you don't have to worry about your colors looking muddy. So I can just color over one color with another color to blend it. I can also use my fingers to blend these. I might get a little messy, but I can wash my hands afterwards. Part of the fun of pastels is blending them together. Now, if you don't have soft pastels at home, you could also use watercolors to make your sky. What I would recommend doing is using a paintbrush, a wide paintbrush, and just painting your paper with plain water first and getting it nice and wet. And then taking your red, yellow, and orange and painting over it. And the water will help your colors blend together really nicely and make a nice sunset. Okay, so I have my colors. If I want to add a little bit more to make it a little bit more colorful, I can. Now, this looks like a pretty nice sky. And I never want to blow the dust off of my paper. If I get some dust on here, I just want to tap it to get the dust off. That way I won't blow it into anyone's eyes or make a bigger mess. And then when I'm done, I can just easily wrap up this newspaper and put it in the recycling. Okay, so I could either leave it like this, or if I want to add the sun going down, I can make a little half circle down here. You can make your sun bigger or smaller, but I'm going to make it look like it's sinking below the horizon line, which is the line where the earth meets the sky. Okay, so once I have my land colored, and I'm still using the side of my pastel, then I'll tap my dust off. Okay, so once I'm happy with my sunset, I can add my animals. If you're doing watercolor, you're going to want to let your watercolor dry all the way before adding your animals. If you're doing pastel, you don't need to let it dry because it's already dry. So I'm going to start by just making a line for the ground. And if I have a sun, I want to make sure the sun meets the ground. So I can just make it kind of straight, or I can make little hills if I want. And then I'm just going to use the side to color in the land. So if you're doing the watercolor method, any kind of black crayon or pencil or marker will work, or you can make them out of black construction paper and pin poke your animals out and glue them on. Okay, so once I have my land colored in, and I'm going to be really careful now that I've been using black. I don't want to get black fingerprints on my paper, so I'm going to try not to touch it a bunch. I might just try to hold it down here and not touch the sky. So then I can just start drawing my silhouettes. So you can decide how big you want them. If you want to make it look like they're kind of in the distance, you can make them a little bit smaller. And I'm just going to draw the outline of my animals. And it is pretty helpful to have a picture to look at when you draw these. So if you have some pictures or a book of African animals, then you can just use it as a reference. Otherwise, you can just make them up or just try to draw them from memory. But after I outline it, I'm just going to draw it, color it in black so it just looks like the outline of my animal. And then if I want to draw all the same animal, I can if I just want to choose one animal. Or I can draw some different animals together, which I'm going to do. Okay, and then once my animals are all colored in, I'm just going to tap it to make sure there's no dust on there. Now, if I did get any black fingerprints on the sides, I could just take an eraser and erase them so you don't see them. When you're all finished, you can spray it. You want to make sure any finishing touches that you want are on there, and you're not going to want to change anything after you spray it. So I'm just going to use my hairspray, and I want to hold it about 18 inches away from my picture and just give it a light spray. You might want to go outside for this. I'm just going to do it inside, but just lightly spray an even coat over the whole thing. And then once it dries, you can hang it up and enjoy your nice picture of your African animal silhouettes. Thanks for watching my video.